Es heißt gegen Wales, wir freuen uns auf den BDO-Weltmeister aus dem Jahre 2008, der auch bei der PDC in 2 WM-Halbfinals stand. Der war mal in den Top 10, ist aktuell die Nummer 24 der Welt. Die Rede ist von The Spider, M.Webster.
One mark through to the second round of the Happy Bet European Darts Open already. Mark Walsh seeing off Nathan Aspinall in match 1. Can Mark Webster follow suit and turn the W at the end of his name into a win against Richardson? I'm Chris Murphy, and joining us this weekend for expert analysis is Mr. Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Murph. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be in Leverkusen, one of the new venues that we have on the European Tour. So far, so good. Not far from the airport. Great accommodation, great welcome from everybody at PDC Europe and here in this part of Germany. And what a good game we've got here for a second game in the afternoon. I'm surprised to see this one in the afternoon. This is a corker.
Yeah, potentially one of the games of the day, isn't it? We've got Robbie Green against Martin Schindler, perhaps to rival it in this afternoon session, but later this evening, got to pick out Justin Pipe against James Wade and Vincent van der Voort against Christo Reyes. We'll talk about that match more as the day goes on, but those two players qualified through the European qualifiers last night as the highest two ranked players to come through that qualification and then end up being drawn against each other. Not only that, Paul, who did they get in the next round as a reward for winning?
MVG.
World number one seed Michael van Gerwen. Anyway, this one's all about Mark Webster and James Richardson, and Webster is a man who has been showing signs of a return to form of late, not least with that run to the final of the World Cup.
I think more than anything else, it was not just how well Mark played, it's how he carried himself, the way he genuinely looked happy playing darts, because he's already come out and said at the Sindelfingen event earlier this year that he wasn't enjoying his darts and he was just grinding, but that World Cup with Gerwin Price, he enjoyed that. Make no mistake. And I had breakfast with Mark this morning, he just seems in a really good place. He wasn't playing last week, so he was spending some time with the family. And the action looks as good as we've seen for a little while.
140.
And if he keeps the action smooth and solid, Mark Webster will get results.
Yeah, we have seen a few games on the European Tour stage this year where Webster has suffered those well-documented problems with his throw. A match against James Wade, which he won. That he'd really struggled with his throw during that match, and he came off stage and was very unhappy with how he'd played despite victory. But since then, it seems to have been throwing and going much more smoothly for the Welshman.
Mark, you require 62.
Well, the more he wins, the more his confidence is going to get better. Obviously, he was going for treble 14 for double 10 there. That leaves his favourite
42.
He's not bad at double 10, Mark, and the World Cup actually showed that. He hit it more times than he missed it.
Yeah, James Wade and Mark Webster regarded as two of the best double 10 hitters in the world.
20.
Prove us right, Mark. Typical. Double 5.
No score. James requires
it's definitely the right thing to do to bust it there. You don't want to be leaving yourself double 2 in that spot, really. But he might not even come back, because Richardson's got tops for the first leg.
36. Mark, you require 20.
Yeah, it made sense for Mark Webster to leave one of his favoured doubles by busting his previous score, and that's why double 10 gets Mark off the mark.
Something like he seems to do first. He won.
Well, it's been 1 year, Murph, since we saw the mystery white rock of James Richardson, who stand at the top of the stairs in Dusseldorf, holding this white object, and none of us knew what it was. It took until the next European Tour event, I think it was in Riesa,
57.
to find out what it was. It was a piece of Maltese chalk that he found in a skip, because he likes to put chalk on his hands for traction. He found this piece in Malta and used it for a while, and he said to me in the practice room about an hour and a half ago that he forgot to bring it. So I'm sure he's had to find some alternative from the local area, or maybe something from another player.
Yeah, I heard you had a chat about superstitions last weekend. I was sat at home watching, Paul, listening to the unrivaled commentary and production from PDC Europe.
96, James require 130.
And that was a strange one from James Richardson. However, whatever he's chosen today as his superstition seems to be working too. 130 checkout to level this match up.
Well, you can't accuse James Richardson of not being aggressive. He didn't have to go for the 60 there, or even a single 20.
81.
He could have gone treble 18 for double 8. He could have just laid it up nice and easy. But look at his eyes. They don't blink because he's aggressive.
100.
He goes straight forward, and that's the kind of dart that we can applaud.
Yeah, well, going for the 60 suggests he would have gone for the bullseye. And perhaps that's the kind of shot where, mathematically, at that point in the match,
96.
you could play a percentage shot and kind of lay up in golfing terms, but it's also the kind of shot where you can just stick it to your opponent a little
40.
bit.
From a psychological perspective, absolutely right. If he was a golfer, James Richardson, he'd be Dustin Johnson. He just gets the driver out, and if he's on a par 5, he'll go for the green. He's not going to be hitting a 6-iron 85 yards out, that's for sure. And judging by the charity that he is a patron for, Darts for Heroes, as you can see on his shirt, he's just a man who puts everything into it.
Well, will he be a hero today, the like of which he was a few years ago at the World Championship when he knocked out Raymond van Barneveld? He was a complete unknown, wasn't he, James Richardson, when he rocked up Alexandra Palace.
100, Mark, you require 53.
Beat Barney in straight sets. Anyway, Webster looking at tops again.
Just trying to find his range on tops at the minute. And that'll do it. It's a quality leg to hold through 15 darts. A little bit of change over 100 average in that leg. And gives him
64.
A nice little cushion. He wants to hold his throw a lot. When you're trying to gain confidence, you want to hold that throw a lot and just say to people, I'm hard to break. And his World Cup singles record
84.
Is unparalleled. He's never been beaten in a singles match in the World Cup. And to think that that's been running for 7 years, that is an incredible statistic.
Certainly is. And he certainly embraces the team aspect of that tournament, which can't always be said of every player that's played in it. I'm sure you will agree, Paul, although
100.
You and Simon Whitlock for Australia certainly had the camaraderie going.
Yeah, one time I gave Simon a high five and hurt his hand because I was
96.
Getting a little bit pumped up. But Mark's had a few partners. He had Jamie Lewis and Richie Burnett, Barry Bates. Gavin Price now, obviously.
Yeah, and to get to the final with a couple of different partners is quite special.
It is.
Of course, Barney, we keep mentioning today, he keeps coming up in the conversation, but he's won it with a couple of different partners.
Not to mention, he's won this tournament before. So he's won a few things, Barney, but we don't really want to be talking about people who aren't in the tournament. Today we want to be talking about the people on stage who are placing those arrows into the 60.
Richardson looking to level up. 18 for tops.
51.
Chance.
Mark, you require 83.
Now, we'll have to go for 51 here. Treble 17. Not his favourite side of the board, but he'll love the fact he's got 2 darts for the leg. Got to go over the top now.
67.
Great chance to break.
20.
And a sigh of relief from James Richardson. Sees him come back.
James Richardson.
And stare at that double 10 down. It's 2-2.
Was that possibly, Paul, the most awkward first start he could have landed? Because for a left-hand player, the last thing you want to do was step further to the left to get around it.
Absolutely right, yeah. I think one of the reasons why people like James Wade and Mark Webster like double 10 is because of, if they miss it, they've still got a lot of room to look at it. And I was having a conversation with someone at the PDC Fishing Championships on Tuesday. And they were talking about left-handers who like double 10, and there are a lot of them. Chris Quantock likes double 10, Mark Webster, James Wade. Cast my mind back. I'm sure that Alan Glazier liked it as well. But it's almost like a right-hander's double 8. I mean, you look at the amount of right-handers that love double 8. Joe Cullen is probably the best person in the world at double 8. Peter Wright loves that corner, but I'm sure he's having a love-hate affair with double 8 right now, considering what happened to the Premier League.
58.
But it's the same. Left-handers like double 10, right-handers like double 8. It must just be a really good height and a good spot in front of the eye.
Well, Richardson loves the treble 20. First 180 of this contest, and it gets him down to 41 after 9 darts and a chance to break Mark Webster's throw.
Teams require 41.
Well, he's got me there. He's got 41. I heard Paul Hinks say it.
Well, I think he's bamboozled himself there, James Richardson, tidying up. Right-handers love double 8s.
25.
Well, you would have really been slapping yourself, James, if you'd have hit the treble 19. And you will if Mark Webster hits this.
Well, what on earth was he doing? 180 left 41. Paul Hinks correctly told him he had 41, and he rapidly fired somewhere towards the treble 19 bed, and that, I assure you, was for double 8s.
Maybe he's just a little bit frazzled.
Yeah.
Now, Mark has a realistic chance of holding his throw if he can chip this 108. 88, treble 16 now, clear bed, hits it, tops, and this will hurt Richardson. Ooh, it just dipped at the end, and a wry smile from Webby.
Well, Richardson needs to settle himself down somehow. Double 2. And that might just do it. Madness at the end of that leg after the 180.
Well, it couldn't have been madder if it would have gone in the madhouse after that. I'll have to ask him at some point in the next few days, what were you thinking? Because that really was a bamboozling moment.
Well, it took him 9 darts to get down to 41 and a further 8 to finish it off. But in the end, it matters not. It's 1 in the win column and a breaker throw.
77.
But we noticed in the crowd, as James was going for the 41, we had one of the best youth players in the world in the crowd, Justin van der Gouw from the Netherlands. There he is on the left, sitting with his mum. Tried to qualify last night and ran into Jermaine Watamina. He was 4-1 up against Jermaine, set to make his debut on the European Tour.
58.
Jermaine took out 5 legs in a row to beat him 6-4. So as far as Justin van der Gouw is concerned, we'll have to wait.
Well, this pair both came through the UK qualifying system. Mark Webster staying off Andy Hamilton and Mick McGowan to get here. And we know how brutal those qualifiers can be. Paul, that's why you're sat next to me.
Yep, I run into Mervyn King again. That seems to be happening on a regular basis.
100.
James Richardson seeing off Richie Corner and Ted Everts. A couple of 6-2 victories for the man from Rushden.
Well, funnily enough, James is from Rushden in the Midlands.
100.
Northamptonshire, place of the world in the world that I know a lot about. Oh, how aggressive is he going to be here? Double 8. Oh, that's aggressive and brilliant. 4-2 lead for the man from Rushden. As I'm about to say it, quite tragically, James said to me, they've knocked down the football stadium in Rushden. And we're actually very close to the Bayer Leverkusen stadium in this arena. It's just over the road.
140.
Yeah, Rushden and Diamonds, the famous football club from that part of the world, or famous former football club. Mark Webster from Denbigh in Wales.
140.
Big Man United fan himself, though.
You wouldn't guess it by the shirt, would you? Every shirt he gets is symptomatic of Manchester United colours.
140.
But he might need to find a bit of Fergie time in this one, because Richardson is a couple of legs clear and a couple of legs away from replacing the second round, and the winner of this contest will take on Benito van der Past, who you might suggest is there for the taking at the moment.
140.
It's all on the day. I'll tell you what, right now, James Richardson, the difference between these two is the scoring. Because Richardson is constantly finding himself on very small numbers after 9 darts. And it is 81 this time. It's double 12. It's a brilliant leg. It's a 5-2 lead. And Mark Webster needs to reel off 4 legs in a row to stay in this tournament.
Yeah, he's had 10 140s in this match, James Richardson. And now he's had 2 180s as well.
I think he enjoyed that. did say this is going to be a juicy game
100.
because these two guys can play very, very well on the European stage. James has gone deep in a few tournaments.
100.
And I think he prefers it on the stage as opposed to the floor. But we know that Mark has played some decent stuff this season and last season on these different stages that we play on.
Well, make no mistake, this is a sublime performance from James Richardson, averaging around 100, 2 180s, 10 140s, 3 big combination finishes.
140.
Made that 11 140s. He's taken out 130, 96, 81, and once again, Paul, down to a 2-darter after 9 darts.
Yeah, it's an identical leg to the last.
140.
And he will love a treble 19, double 12 again. Treble 10. Would have given him a match start at double 16.
49.
But he will come back for it. It's not looking good for the man from Denby.
But Webster's played perhaps at a level that is usually enough to get you through a first round contest. He sets up the shot just in case, but Richardson, averaging over 100, finishes the job with a brilliant first round display, a 6-2 win. Mark Webster acknowledges the performance of his opponent. Richardson, ruthless by name, ruthless by nature, and moves through. We already have our first ton-plus average here in Leverkusen. A new stage and a happy home for James Richardson. He'll take on Benito van der Pass tomorrow. We'll see what he thinks about his performance. Here he is, your winner, James Richardson, talking to Elmar.
Partie von ihm. Average von 101 Punkten. Gute Doppelquote. Gute Werte für Ruthless. Da kniet er nieder, um dieses 180er Schild zu signieren. Voller Einsatz für die Fans vom netten James Richardson. James, are you comfortable over there? Yeah, okay, look, I will come to you there. That was a great match, James. Happy with? No. The players have to sign. No. So James, come to me. They love you. That was good. It was fun, wasn't it?
I don't know about fun. I mean, Mark's a brilliant player. Mark's on form at the minute. I've just played my game, and that's it. That's all I do.
Oh, you just played your game, average of over 100, 40% doubles. That's a good game.
Over 100? I've never done that before. What's that about? That ain't me.
So, goal for this weekend? What's the plan?
Well, just do as best I can. I mean, you know, the amount of players who are in this tournament, there's so many good players. I mean, I've got Benito tomorrow. Benito's a fantastic player. You know, it'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that as well. Thank you, James. James Richardson spielt morgen gegen Benito van der Pass. Und er weiß, dass es ein schwieriges Match ist. Jetzt heißt es irgendwie den finalen 3. Tag erreichen und dann mal sehen, was eventuell möglich ist. Für James Richardson auf jeden Fall war das hier ein gutes Match. Jetzt ist der Puls bei Lutz schon so ein bisschen höher, denn John Henderson ist kurz davor, hier auf die Bühne zu kommen. Er tritt an gegen den Nordiren Ray Campbell. Bis gleich.